guys, and welcome to a double snus review today here at StiffUpperLip in collaboration with snus24.com. It's a brand I haven't looked at all before. Don't know how that's possible, but it is Gustavus Original and Gustavus White by JTI, Japan Tobacco International. The word Gustavus, it's actually from Gustavus Adolphus, which is the king of Sweden way back when. It's also known as Gustav II Adolf, Gustav II Adolf, who died, I think, at a battlefield in Lützen. It was really foggy that day. And the reason they've named it after him is basically that the first ship from Sweden to go to America, unless the Vikings did it before, it was a few years after this king died, and the king was the one who sent it over there. Then it came back with some tobacco, so it's the sort of legacy of bringing tobacco back to Sweden there. And the snus itself, it started around 2000. There was a guy in Vårgårda in Sweden, which is pretty close to Gothenburg, who started up his own sort of company. That was then bought up by Gallagher, which was a tobacco company. And then in 2007, it was bought by JTI Tobacco, which are the ones now making it. So this is a JTI product. They also make LD and Camel snus, actually. It's a big international company, this one. It should be a classic traditional snus, possibly bergamot. It's pretty cheap. I would put it in the low price segment, actually. Not as cheap maybe as off-road, but I think it's down there with sort of AG Snus Captain. It's cheaper than Nox, Smålands, Kronans, all of these ones really. So it's a low price snus, so hopefully good value on this one of these ones. It's the original and the white. Those are the traditional Gustavus. Then they have three new slim versions, which is Salvi, Blue, and a strong one, I believe. So, but they are much newer, so these have been around much longer. It's got like a catch lid that, a hinged catch lid like that, which is relatively large, both on the white and the original. The nicotine is 8 milligrams per gram, and I will count the portions in here later for you guys. It's 18 grams in the can, so we'll see if they're full 1 gram portions or not. Let's open the original, shall we? Looking pretty moist, pretty regular looking there. So, I mean, I like LD actually. I thought that was a pretty good, cheaper snus. This is about the same price as LD, I think. So I don't think like LD is the more premium than this one. I think they're pretty similarly priced. Probably a slightly different taste then. And the white ones, you kind of can see a little bit of the tobacco through there maybe. Interesting smell. Okay, I get it already. So here we go with white. Yeah, it's tobacco centric. It's a traditional snus in that sense. So these sort of slightly cheaper, they're going to be a little bit tricky to differentiate between. You know, what's the difference? I try to pick it out for you. It's you know, it's got quite strong of the tobacco, but not so traditional on the bergamot. Maybe it's a little bit. There's some freshness in there, some smokiness too. I think it smells pretty good actually. They do look a little bit small, maybe not 1 gram full portions here. I'll work it out for you for the second part of this video. And that's what I will do. I will use both of these up and get back to you when I've used both of these up. Tell you what I think about them. You can see King Gustavus there on his horse going into battle. And I said it's even cheaper than Smålands. Now it's not that cheap. Smålands is really one of the cheapest, but it's a cheap snus. And as many of these traditional cheap snuses, it's a little bit hard to differentiate between them. It's definitely a bergamot forward snus. I counted 20 portions in each, and the portions are 0.9 grams then, and the nicotine is 7.2 milligrams per portion, or 8 milligrams per gram. So verdict time. JTI, very large company, multinational. If I don't like it, we don't need to pity them too much. But the verdict is that I do like them, just like the LD actually. And LD started out a bit funky, ammonia driven when I first opened it. These ones don't have that problem at all. They're very stable and very traditional in the taste. The original one does drip quite a lot, so if you like that, that's good. If you don't, go with the white one. I've had a couple of the cans of the white. First time I tried it, I thought it really had a distinct sort of, there was something about it that I really enjoyed. The second one doesn't quite have that, so maybe some can variations there. The two of them are very similar in taste. Of course, the white drips much less. Taste doesn't last forever, but it's pretty solid there. So how can I describe it then? I would say it is quite bitter, maybe not as bitter as Nox, but it has a bitterness to it. There's the bergamot for sure. It is a little bit different than other ones. I think there's some sort of flower tone there. There is a bit of sweetness, just like with the LD. That one had a little bit of sweetness, and that one was like a lighter version of General, but with still a solid, satisfying taste. And I think it's the same here. It's quite solid because I think it also has some sort of smokiness to it. It's not flat or dying. It does have a good, relatively solid smokiness with the bergamot there. And I think apart from that flowery thing, there is a little bit of freshness, especially in the white one, that I like. So I think it's a little bit fresher than many of the traditional ones. And I think there's quite a lot of hay. You do get that in some other ones. I think I got it in the G3, for instance. But here I think it's a taste that is relatively robust, a little bit bitter and with that smokiness. So it's one I like actually. LD, by the way, they're coming now in new flashy cans. So it's a new design. These ones are keeping the old traditional one, although I think Gustavus had like a sail to signify the ship going over to America before, but now you get the king on his horse here. So cheap and relatively satisfying. It's a snus that I think you should definitely try. It's probably quite close to something like Nox or something like that. I think I prefer it to Granite Maxad, for instance. That one is a little bit grassy. This has more on the hay side of it. Good tasting snus. Quite satisfied with using them, I must say. Because of the first white I tried was really nice, I'm gonna rate it slightly higher than the original. And this drips quite a lot. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. So Gustavus Original I will give a 6 out of 10. And a Gustavus White I will give 6.5 out of 10. So I think you should try these. Some of my favorites, along with LD in the lower price bracket. I think they're good snoozes. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.